Why no one is talking about the breaking up of Africa? Are we going to see a new ocean and the split in the African continent? What are the reasons behind it and how it is going to impact our future? The African continent that you see as one might split up in two. And I am not talking about a science fiction here. This is as real as it gets and it is happening beneath our feet already. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we are going to discuss that how African continent is on verge of splitting into two land masses and the formation of ocean will also take place in between. We will be talking about all the evidences that have come to fore, the plate tectonic theory that is supporting it and what lies in front of us. So let us begin with understanding that what exactly is happening. So as of now, Africa is going under a major geological process due to which we are expecting that this given landmass is going to split into two and there is going to be formation of ocean in between in next 5 to 10 million years. So if we talk about this whole process, this is very similar to what we saw in the early stages of the formation of Atlantic Ocean itself. And that is why this very major continental rift processing is calling our attention yet again. If we talk about this split is progressing from the northeast direction towards south gradually in just like a zip opening manner where you're splitting this open gradually, and there is a new magnetic analysis that has come forth which places this very process in the right place and supports this through evidence where Africa's crust is already thinning, it is stretching and cracking in some places. So even though this process is extremely slow, it might materialize in next 5 to 10 million years, but this is happening geologically and it is irreversible and unmistakable. This is not a theory, this is something that is happening real time. So now let us try to decipher and understand this in detail. Now we will be moving to understand this in detail, and as theory of plate tectonics forms the fundamental basis of what is present in front of us, we will be starting with that. So if we talk about plate tectonic itself, we have to understand that Earth's lithosphere is divided up into multiple moving slices which are the tectonic plates, and these tectonic plates are permanently moving. And if we talk about the African continent itself, you can clearly see that it sits on two major plates. One we have African plate or Nubian plate, the other one is Somali plate. When we are talking about the movement of plates, the movement can occur in three different ways. The first way is a divergent boundary where two plates are going away from each other. Now when the plates are going away from each other, in this scenario we get to see that there is volcanic activity, lava eruptions, thinning of the crust as well. But in another scenario you will find when the movement of plates is towards each other, it is known as a convergent plate boundary. This is where you get to see formations of mountains because the plates are moving towards each other. But if it's an oceanic plate and a continental plate, you find that oceanic plate subducts in this particular scenario. And the third one is the transform boundary where two plates are not going towards each other or not moving away from each other, rather they are just moving parallel, they are rubbing past themselves parallelly. So when we are talking about the case of African continent, as I mentioned, there are two major plates, but we have to understand that they are sitting at a divergent boundary. That means the West African plate and the East African plate are going away from each other. And as they are moving away from each other, rift is forming, and because of this rift formation, magma is gradually rising. Now when magma comes out, there is new crust which gradually forms, and this will also gradually lead to, because there is space, development of ocean. So continents over the years have repeatedly split, be it if we talk from the very start when we had the mega continent Pangaea and it split into two, and then we talk about the merging of continents when we talk about Indian plate converging with the Eurasian plate and formation of Himalayas. We have evidences of these things happening over and over again, but this time we are seeing it for real, and this is happening right under our feet, and new evidences are supporting this as much as we talk about. So before we move into the evidences, let us talk about why Africa is splitting. Now I think you have a fundamental base to understand. So basically the mantle heat which is beneath East Africa, let me go back to the plate and we will be able to see it clearly here. So when we talk about the mantle heat beneath the East African plate, it is rising. This is a divergent boundary which is present here, and this is leading to crustal thinning. This is leading to volcanism. A very good example here would be eruption of Haile Gubbi in Ethiopia, which led to ash plumes, and there was airline disruptions that were seen in India as well. Ash through westerly jet streams came to India as well. So this is what is the fundamental creation of an ocean and a landmass is taking place, and this is why we are seeing that uplift is happening, volcanism is happening, tension in the crust is present, and this crust will stretch till the time it can take it. After that it will crack, and we will be able to, and we have been able to see such cracks which are present in form of rifts, cracks, etc. Now that we have understood the fundamental basis, now let us move to other evidences that have been in front of us, starting with the East African rift system itself. So when we are talking about East African rift system, this is the most active rift system in the world as of now, with a length of more than 4,000 miles, which extends from Jordan to Mozambique. And when we are talking about this rift system, it is characterized with frequent earthquakes, active volcanoes, and steep rift valleys, and also escarpments which are very much associated with divergent boundaries. Furthermore, series of deep lakes formation have also taken place along this very East African rift valley. If you see this rift valley that we are talking about, you will be able to clearly understand that this rift is nothing but the boundary of the African plates that exist, and all the formations, be it the escarpments, be it the rift valleys, is because of the movement of these divergent plates itself and the fact that they are gradually pulling apart. Seeing such cracks, presence of valleys is an example to that. So East African rift system in itself stands as an example that what Africa might experience in next 5 to 10 million years. Apart from that, another great example that we have in front of us is Afar Triple Junction. First, let us start with understanding what exactly is the region that I am talking about. So if you look at this given map, and you will see this particular region. Now when I am talking about this particular region, not present in the map, but it is a low-lying area, and this area is believed to be the pinpoint, or you can say the starting point, where the ocean formation, which shows the early stages of ocean formation already. Now this is also important because this Afar junction happens to be a junction because three tectonic plates are pointing here. So this is where three plates are meeting and diverging. We have Arabian plate, we have West African plate, and we have Somali plate in this well. So we get to see that this Afar depression, it is intersection of Red Sea rift, the rift that is occurring here, then Gulf of Aden rift, and the main Ethiopian rift or the East African rift that we are talking about. And it is being marked as the hottest and thinnest crustal regions of the earth. That is showing that yes, the volcanic activity, the thinning of crust, the divergent movement of plates is taking place. Furthermore, lava flows fissures and also depressions. These are the indications of early ocean formation taking place. And when we are talking about ocean formation, if this is the starting point and the split occurs like this, then this will be another huge water body, another ocean that we are expecting. So scientists already have evidences and they believe that Afar region is showing the initial stages of an ocean basin. So as of now, we started with understanding plate tectonic. We understood the divergent movement, what kind of characteristic it shows, it is present here. Then we talk about the East African Rift Valley system. It is also giving us all the proofs, and now we have discussed the Afar Triple Junction. Now we will be moving to the recent studies and what it has brought in, starting with the first thing that has been highlighted is the magnetic evidence. Whenever we are looking at a magnetic anomaly, in that the basic fundamental concept is the fact, whenever a molten rock cools, it basically gives us the direction of Earth's magnetic field. This is the basic concept. Now, based on this concept, this storing of, locking of direction in that particular rock, it becomes like a fingerprint, a magnetic fingerprint of that particular time, and that helps us in tracing the crustal movements. What has been done in the recent magnetic surveys and findings, that the data from 1968 to 69 through airborne magnetic surveys have been re-evaluated, but this time this has been done using modern tools, and based on this, scientists have discovered that patterns are matching seafloor spreading zones. There is a clear evidence the rock formation in the Afar Triple Junction region, they exhibit ocean-like magnetic signatures, and they also have a proof that the crust is gradually stretching, and it has been steadily stretching for millions of years. So what we have been talking about, we know scientifically and that unmistakably that this is happening has been again reaffirmed by the evidences which have been found in this magnetic study. So this evidence clearly points to the fact that Africa is not just cracking, it is going towards a full zone where there will be two continents and there will be a presence of oceanic body in between. Now moving to another factor which has been pointed out in the study is the surface evidence. So if we talk about surface evidence, it is something that we can actually see. You will find the presence of Rift Valley lakes, be it Turkana, be it Tanganyika, be it Malvi, which are already present in deep sinking valleys. Furthermore, there have been periodic land cracks that appear. If we talk about 2018, we saw Kenya fissure, a huge fissure in Kenya country after heavy rainfalls. One I have showed already in a picture. Other than that, Eastern Africa has some of the world's most active volcanoes. I have given you example of Haile Gubbi, which was a dormant volcano for 12,000 years. Can you imagine the amount of pressure that this dormant volcano erupted? And that is why this becomes significant, because this visible signs are the confirmation of what African continent is going through. Now that we have understood enough of the splitting of the continent, now let us talk about what this splitting will look like. So if you see, this is the political map of the present African continent, and if this splitting actually takes place, there will be two continents will be forming, and most expectedly this part would be one continent that we are talking about. This part will be the one continent that we are talking about, and the other continent would be on this side. So one part of it will include Egypt, Sudan, South Sudan, Nigeria, Ghana, basically the Western Africa that we are talking about, up and until Botswana. But when we talk about the Eastern Africa, it will have Somalia, Kenya, Tanzania, Eastern Ethiopia. All of this region will go towards Eastern Africa. And it is also expected that an ocean basin will also fill the rift in between. Exactly similar to how Red Sea is present between Arabia split from Africa. If you see this very region, you will be able to understand what kind of ocean basin that I am talking about here. See, this is the Red Sea, Arabia split, Africa is here. So similarly, once this is split like this, we will see, and it is moving in a different direction, we will see formation of another oceanic basin here. Now on this note, we will be talking about why this particular breakup matters and why we are talking about. This matters because even before the split is complete, the effects are in front of us in form of natural hazard, in form of volcanism, in form of earthquakes, ground instability, etc. And this needs to be accounted for, not just infrastructure and urban planning, but also ensuring that the lives are not threatened. Furthermore, another factor that needs to be understood when we are talking about the rifting as well as the split up is the scientific importance, because this functions as a live laboratory to understand early ocean formation, to look into the continental breakup processes, and most importantly the crustal dynamics, because that is going on at the moment that we speak. And this also becomes very fundamental in terms of long-term planetary evolution and the understanding of it. It demonstrates the Earth's constant movement and shows how modern continents of the present time have come in place, and they are yet again just temporary geological arrangements. Now that was all from my side. You can put in your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Thank you so much.